على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه أما بعد. As soon as the brothers are done praying on this side, if I can kindly ask you to move to the left side of the musalla, inshallah, so the sisters can sit down in the front. Jazakumullahu khairah. Before we begin, inshallah, just a couple of housekeeping announcements, inshallah. Can I have everybody's attention, please, so I don't have to repeat myself? Jazakumullah khair. Very quickly, so we're going to try our best to start as soon as possible. We will be finishing at approximately 9 p.m. Inshallah, we want to have lots of time for question and answer, inshallah. The program as a whole, we're aiming to finish by 9:30, inshallah, and then we'll have some light food in the back immediately afterwards, inshallah. Okay? Don't forget, if you would like to register for Sheikh Ammar's workshop tomorrow, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. here at the masjid, feel free to sign up at the back table here in the back. We have a kiosk here and a black table with a tablecloth, if you can kindly sign up there. The workshop for tomorrow is $10. Also, next Thursday, on the night of Halloween, we actually have a program for the youth, inshallah, at Chuck E. Cheese. So for those of you that have small children that don't want to take them trick-or-treating, I highly recommend that you bring them to Chuck E. Cheese with our youth group. Have them attend there at Chuck E. Cheese with us in the youth group from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Chuck E. Cheese off of Magnolia. Inshallah, the first 100 kids are free, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And also next Friday, 1 week from tonight, we have another Family Friday night program with Sheikh Mustafa Ammar on the ruling of marijuana in Islam. So I highly encourage, especially this is a topic that is more targeted for the youth. And last but not least, on November 9th and 10th, we have our 30th anniversary celebration here at ISCN. If you would like more information, there are flyers in the back at the black table. Jazakumullahu khairah. Without further ado, I wanted to introduce Sheikh Ahmad before he got started. Sheikh Ahmad is a graduate of Al-Azhar University. He was born in Cairo, Egypt, where he began his Islamic training at a young age under the supervision of his father, who was the sheikh of the village. He memorized the Quran at the age of 12. He continued his Islamic education, graduating from the Institute of Preparation of Preachers with a BA in Islamic Studies and earning an associate's degree from Al-Furqan Institute. He then traveled to the United States in 1999, where he earned his Bachelor's of Science in Computer Engineering. He then returned to Egypt, where he completed his Islamic education by studying with some of the top scholars in the country, receiving from them licenses in Ijazat in Quran, in the various Qira'at, various Islamic sciences, including Ijazah to teach and narrate the Maliki, Hanbali, Shafi'i madhabs. He also pursued a third bachelor's degree at Al-Azhar University in the Islamic Sciences and Arabic language, and a fourth bachelor's degree and a master's degree at the Islamic University of Minnesota in Islamic Studies, where he is currently a PhD student. Imam Ammar is a certified Ruqyah practitioner with 15 years of extensive experience. He has been an imam in various mosques across the United States and is currently the imam at the Islamic Center of Davis in Davis, California. So without further ado, I would like to remind the brothers to please move to this side of the room. Jazakumullahu khairah, so we can leave this space for the sisters. If the sisters want to move forward, you are more than welcome to do so. Without further ado, Sheikh Ammar, Jazakumullahu khairah.
Fine, inshallah. I need it, or else I'll go till midnight. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa tabi'a hudahu ila yawmiddin wa ba'd. Jazakumullah khair for the invitation, and Sheikh Jamil for his welcoming and the hospitality that I got from the community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you and bring all of us inshallah together in dunya again and again, and if not, then in Jannah inshallah. This workshop usually takes anywhere between 4 to 5 hours. So I'm gonna try to do it in 50 minutes. How? Allahu a'lam. All right, I'm gonna try. But of course, what's left, you know, the more depth and detail will be in the workshop tomorrow, and a lot of things will be presented tomorrow more than tonight. Tonight I'm just gonna introduce the topic to give you a sense of what we want to cover, inshallah. So, the Prophet ﷺ, he taught us in the Sunnah the performance of ruqyah. And the problem today is that we have two extreme. We have people who take it to a level that they do ruqyah with every and anything that they can. And we have another extreme of people who never does ruqyah or does not believe in any of that. And both extreme are never accepted in Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. This ummah is always a moderate, in between. We don't take either far extreme right, far extreme left. Today, inshallah, I'm only introducing to you the concept of this workshop, and hopefully, inshallah, tomorrow will be enough time. We would have enough time to cover it all from A to Z, inshallah, and how to cure and how to protect yourself and all of that. Now, Al-ruqya is mostly a spiritual healing that the Prophet ﷺ have used from the Quran, or certain adhkar that are used to protect, to cure a person. So either that you're using it to protect, meaning before something happens or takes place, or you're taking it as a cure if something happened. If not, at least it's a form of protection. And the Prophet ﷺ said, it's very simple for a person to be protected when they leave their house and they say, Bismillah, tawakkalna ala Allah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Qala wukkila lahu malak, yaqul kufita wa hudita. Allah, every time you say this dua when you exit your house, an angel will say, you are protected and it's sufficient, meaning Allah's protection is sufficient for you. Now, getting into the topic quickly, inshallah, I'll try to pick and choose from what we're talking about tomorrow, but tonight the main focus will be about Jinn. Again, both extreme. We have people who take it to a level that everything that happens on this earth happens because of a Jinn. And then we have the other side who completely deny even the existence of that. So knowing about the Jinn and how do they perform, I'll make it more interactive, inshallah, and maybe we could have time to get to the good stuff. If not, then tomorrow, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, in this ayah we recited in Isha, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. The shayateen are the main creation, the jinn are the main creation of the shayateen. So when we're talking about shayateen, we're talking about the disbelievers of the jinn, or we're talking about the disobedient among the jinn. Why is that? Because the creation itself are jinn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَخَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ مِن مَارِجٍ مِّن نَارٍ. Allah has created jinn from the flameless part of fire. From the jinn is Iblis alayhi la'natullah, who started this revolution that moved them from a level of being with the angels to the level of being with the shayateen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ. That Iblis is the founder. He's among the creation of jinn, but because of him disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he moved out of that circle to the circle of shayateen, or to start, and he is the head, the father of the shayateen. So quick questions inshallah that we could answer together, and to get some information and to move on inshallah. First, why are they called jinn? Anybody want to join in inshallah? Huh? No. The word jinn doesn't mean fire. The word jinn is referring to something else. Jazakallah khair. Yes. Huh? So anything that is invisible, it's called jinn. This is the word, like Jannah. We can't see Jannah because it's surrounding. that has a surrounded that you can't see it till you get in. Okay? So the word Jannah means what? Mean to protect, meaning from the sighting. So al-jinn, because they're hidden, we don't see them, they are called jinn. All right? That's clear? Now, second question, what are they created from? Be careful when you say fire, because we're gonna need that later on. So we're gonna be very specific. What is marijin min nar? Okay, if I could get the navigation. Can you see clearly? Yes? Okay. You see the yellowish part of this picture? All the way on the top. That is the flameless part of fire. Meaning you could go through with your hands quickly. Of course, don't try this. Don't keep your hand in there for a long time. Just go through it. The flameless part is the marij. مارج من نار المنطقة اللي هي غير الملتهبة, the area that would not cause harm. So they're not even created from the original form of fire, they're created from the flameless part. So when the shaitan said to Allah, I am better than him, you're not. Because you're not even created from fire. You're created only from the weakest part of fire. And that gives us the description of how the shayateen are now today. Shayateen, I want you to think of them, and the jinn, to think of them tonight as air. Something that runs around like air, all right? So it is possible that the air will go through, you. You could smell it, okay, like the wind. They are created like that because that flameless part of fire actually don't exist. It's just air. So is that clear, inshallah? We need that, inshallah, for later on. So back to our question list, inshallah. So we talked about that. Do jinn have gender? Yes? Proof. Huh? Dua, I heard dua. Thank you. Rasulullah said when you enter the bathroom, what do you say? Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith. Khubth are the male and khaba'ith are the female. And yeah, they are created. You know, Imam Shabi was asked, someone asked him, he said, Ya Imam, do jinn have gender? He said, yes. He said, did Iblis have a wife? He said, yes. You know how Muslims, mashallah, they ask a lot of questions. He said, what's her name? And the Sheikh said, I'm sorry, I wasn't invited to the wedding. Why do you care so much? You know, what Allah revealed to you from the information are enough, all right? So trying to go in, how do they look like, male and female? Do they have the gender formula into, we don't know, Allah alam. Allah created them male and female. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ. You take him and his offspring. Offspring comes from what? From the relationship of the different sect. So therefore, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained that by this dua, inshallah. So that's clear. And I'm trying to get you to understand something tonight, that whatever we don't talk about might not be as important. So I know a lot of people, when they hear about jinn, they want to know everything. What is everything? Everything is what the Quran and the Sunnah has given you. What they have hidden from you means it's not important. So we don't need to go into it, or else it might actually lead us to harm. Our brothers and sisters who go online, one of the cause of now possession of jinn that people are having in their houses, or like in themselves or in their houses, or even just the bothering of jinn, because most of the young people, they go online, they read so much about it to a point that they attract them to come over to their houses. It's like letting in a thief into your house to check in everything, then later on don't complain when they come and steal your house or take something from it. All right? Be very clear. We know about them because it's a part of aqeedah, but then we move on. The more the psychiatrist part, the psychology that plays in the mind, the more that you talk about them, and the more that you search about them, and the more that you read about them, the more they will appear to you, the more they will harm you, the more they will come close to you. So let me put this concept down. The farther you are away from them, the better that is. The closer you are, the more harmful they will be. By the way, jinn, they are scared of us like some of us are scared of them. They don't like human-jinn interaction, by the way. Don't think jinn will just be walking by your house, they'll slap you on the head, or they'll take your phone away, or they turn on your car and they run with it. They don't do that. They don't like interaction. Why? Because to them, we are also a mystery. To them, we look creepy. You know, those pictures they draw for jinn, well, they look at you, they could see you, you can't see them. So to them, you do look creepy. We look like aliens. So that's why they don't want to interact. But we are the ones who sometimes either bring them in, or we sometimes cause their harm. Sometimes we start off. One of the things that the sisters should never do, and of course brothers too, but mainly sisters because of the love affliction. Most of you have a mirror in your room, in your bedroom. You could see yourself. Yes or no? That is a problem. That is a problem. If it's facing your bed and you could see it at night time, that is a problem. The jinn hates that the most. So the most sisters who are possessed with jinn, because they stand in front of this mirror for hours and hours without making dua, and when they wake up they look at it, and when they sleep they're looking at it. Keep it away from where you're facing when you sleep. So if you're sleeping, you shouldn't have it facing you, and you shouldn't use it more often at night time. Take this from experience. And don't ask me questions today. We need to move on, okay? Just take it from experience. That's one. Two, when you look at the mirror, you need to say this. First, before you're even unveiled and uncovered, you should say, Allahumma kama hassanta khalqi, fahassin khuluqi, wa harrim wajhi ala an-nar. Oh Allah, you purified my face or how I look, so purify my manners and forbid my face to enter hellfire. And then you say Bismillah 3 times and look at it, then you'll be fine inshallah. Bathrooms, we shouldn't let our kids play in the bathroom areas. That's where most of the shayateen, not only the jinn, the evil ones are in the bathroom. Rasulullah ﷺ said, a shield between you and the shayateen when you enter the bathroom is this dua. So when our kids enter the bathroom, they don't make dua. They start singing in the bathroom, even adult now, mashallah. You travel somewhere, they're all singing around, they think they have a nice voice. No, you don't. It's just a bathroom echo. So be careful of that. Some people, when they enter the bathroom, sink. When you turn on the hot water, this is where they live. Most of the jinn lives in the sink, in the depth of the ocean, in areas of filth. So when you turn on the water, if you don't say Bismillah, you might harm them, they harm you back. Be very careful. Sisters are always in the kitchen, mashallah, cooking, preparing food. Sometimes you'll boil some water and then pour it into the sink, or turn on the sink without saying Bismillah. You could most likely harm a jinn, and they come back and attack you, attack your house, and causes all this harm to your life. Little things that you might not pay attention to, but it gives you a great protection in your house and in your life, inshallah. Now, طيب, what are the names of jinn? Anybody want to join in? Huh? Anybody wants? Huh? That's the last one. You're going from backward, huh? Yes. Al what? What is that? Nightmare. Oh, so you translated his name to nightmare? That doesn't work, brother. Now. Yes. Huh? Khanzab is mainly for salah. No. Khanzab is mainly the distraction of salah. There's a shaitan, his name is Khanzab. He only comes during salah time to whisper and to distract, and the only way to get rid of him is adhan and iqama. Other than that, he's staying. So, you know, you're reminding me of something. There was a sheikh who's talking about jinn and this, and you know, shaitan, when you do this dua, he gets out. When you come into the masjid with your right foot, he gets out. When you make adhan, he gets out. You know, a brother, nice brother, he raises it and sheikh, why do you want him to get out? Let him listen to the dars, maybe Allah will benefit him with that. No, they can't be guided. They're done. The shayateen are done. So now, number one, Al-Jinni is just the creation. Al-Jinn is the weakest among jinn. The weakest is called jinn. Second level, Al-Amir. Amir are the resident jinn that lives in your house and my house. Not in empty houses. We have jinn, and we have, which are the shayateen, and we have Angels. The Prophet ﷺ said, when you enter your house and you say Bismillah and you give salam, what happened? They say to each other, we can't stay in the house. So when you put the food down, they come back because they're hungry. When you say Bismillah and eat, they say we missed the food too. So no food, no stay for tonight. The hotel's closed. They leave. So if you don't say that, you're letting them stay in. The problem with the awamir, Al-amir are the jinn, the resident jinn within the house. What do? They do not cause any harm, but they could be the ones stealing things from your house. And the only way to do that is that you must have it protected, meaning in a box, in a saving box, in a drawer, something closed. Rasulullah ﷺ said they will not open anything that is sealed or closed. So if you leave your phone on the table, most likely they might take it. You say, what are they going to do with the phone? Don't worry, they'll sell it to somebody. That's not our business. Money-wise, you know, of course a sister shouldn't take that or a brother shouldn't take that as advantage. You know, they take their wife's money and they be like, the Sheikh said a jinn might have taken it. No, that's haram. Be careful. Don't use these tricks on each other. So they might take that. They might appear and disappear to the children. They might be the shadows that we see in our house. They might be the sound that you hear at night. They might be the one distracting your life in somehow. They are called awamir. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when the brother came, a companion came into Medina, and he entered his house, his wife was waiting outside. And he said to her, why are you outside? Should be inside the house. She said, wait, don't rush with judgment. Look what's inside. He came in, he found this big snake outside on his bed. So what did he do? He took his sword out, he killed it, and he died. So he killed the snake and he died. And I'm going to tell you how to deal with this case in a second. So Rasulullah ﷺ said, he killed his brother and his brother killed him. إِنَّ مَعَكُمْ إِخْوَانُكُمْ عَوَامِرُ الْمَدِينَةِ. You have your brothers who live in Medina, meaning the jinn. So they might come in whatever form they appear to. If you want, you say Bismillah and then you read a certain dua to them. If they are jinn, they would leave. If they are other than jinn, then you could kill them or get rid of them, as we're going to show inshallah. So these are the awamir. So we have jinn, we have amir. Amir are the resident, okay? Now number 3, al-ruh, the spirit. Al-arwah are only assigned for kids. If you have a child who's behaving a certain way due to 2 things, they're watching too much movies, that's the first thing you should think of. They're just kids playing, they're just kids having fun. You know, when I used to do ruqyah, I no longer perform ruqyah because of my voice, but when I used to do ruqyah, a brother would come, like, you know, I lived in Florida and other states, they'll come at 2 a.m. knocking on my hotel door. What's wrong? The kid didn't sleep all night and he's jumping off the bed. I'm like, okay, what's the deal? Oh, he must have jinn. I'm like, your kid is a jinn himself. MashaAllah. Your kid is very active. He's just hyperactive. No, Sheikh, read on him. I read on the kid falls asleep. He's like, you see? No, he just falls asleep because it's 2 a.m. This is the problem. We're trying to connect things to something that we could sense so we could rely upon it. It doesn't have to be that way. So al-arwah are the jinn that are assigned to harm and hurt our children. Very simple, very easy way to protect them. And I'm going to give it to you, or should I give it to you tomorrow? Tomorrow, yeah? Tomorrow, inshallah. If you come tomorrow, then I'll give you all the treatment tomorrow. It's impossible to give you the treatment today, but at least Surah Al-Fatiha, Ayatul Kursi 7 times, قل, the 4 قل يا أيها الكافرون قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس قل هو الله أحد. You blow in your hand, okay, without spitting, without a saliva, like you do when you have a nightmare, right? You don't know the rule, huh? The Prophet ﷺ said, if you wake up out of a nightmare, what should you do? You should what? Oh, the brothers know that for sure. Spit on your left, like your wife is there. No, don't mess with that. Because she's gonna stand up and she's gonna act like she's dreaming too and slap you on the head, then you'll be in trouble. You get yourself harmed. You know, a brother told me, I wake up every night kind of wet. I said, just put a camera. Maybe your wife is following the sunnah, but she doesn't know the sunnah. Because the sunnah, our shuyukh showed us the sunnah through narration. Even in salah, if you have whispering, this is what you do. And I need everybody to look at me now. You don't turn around and go. No, you have people next to you in salah. The sunnah of the Prophet is to look to your left, not to turn your head. To look to your left, and you breathe out. All right, inhale, exhale. Okay, without saliva coming out, and you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. If you do that to your kids, wipe over their body before they sleep, inshallah they'll be protected at least for the night. When the harm gets bigger, they are shaitan. When the shaitan gets worse, they are married. That's why Sulaiman had so many maradah, min marid. Al-marid is the one who could do things that the shaitan cannot even do. And mostly, they are working with magicians. The maradah are the toughest of the shayateen, the worst of the shayateen. They're working with magician. Ifrit, that is this is like the biggest, all right? The worst, not the biggest, inshallah. The worst, okay? Now, so back to our questions, inshallah. We know their names, we know what do they do. Do jinn eat or drink? Yes, they do. They eat and drink anything that you don't say Bismillah. These are the disbelievers jinn, or the disobedient, or the shaitan. So you have two kind of jinn in your house. I don't want to scare you tonight, but yeah, they live there for a sense. You have jinn that if you say Bismillah, they will eat what is left from you. That's why the Prophet says, don't break the bones, because the jinn will eat it afterward. Allah will turn it into meat and they will eat it. These are your brothers. Now, if you don't say Bismillah, or you don't slaughter in the name of Allah in some narration, the jinn who are disobedient, they will eat your food. So they do eat, they do drink, like we do eat, we do drink, and there's so many hadith. I honestly don't have the time to, maybe tomorrow inshallah we'll go depth. I'm just trying to go quickly. Where do the jinn live? We already know. Mainly they live in areas where nobody lives. So if you have a house back home in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Egypt, India, wherever you came from, you have an old house that nobody lives in, most likely the jinn will take it as a residence or as a resident house without a rent. They're not going to pay you rent. So when you ever return to these houses, the recommendation is you bring in water, you blow in it the full ruqyah, which you'll be getting tomorrow inshallah, the full protection ruqyah. You spray the corners of the house for 3 days till they leave the house peacefully. If not, then you need to bring in someone who knows how to deal with them. What is their power? Let me tell you, they have no power but what you give them. The weaker you are, the stronger they are. Is that clear? So if you become strong, they become weak. But now Allah gave them some power due to afflictions and tests, because Allah created us for a test. We're on this dunya for what? لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah wants to test you. So you could be afflicted, they could harm you, yes, but they are never going to harm you without you harming them, or without someone assigning them to harm you. I'll give you an example, one of the life stories that I have. In Egypt, we were reading on a sister. What she used to do is what most of us do today. She used to boil water and wash the clothes in it. You know, we didn't have this fancy washing machine at that time. I know kids are looking at me like you guys are weird, you know. But yeah, that's how we were before. Okay, I'm talking about 80s, 90s. So we were very poor. So what happened? They would boil water, okay, and they'll put some chemical in there to purify the cloth. Anyway, they'll take that water and throw it outside of the house. So this sister was afflicted with jinn. So when we read on her, the jinn spoke. So he was a Muslim, and we told him what's going on. He said, I was going to the masjid to pray. She threw the water, and she does that all the time. And we tried to stay away from her, but this time she did it and it came on one of us, so we took revenge. So no way that he'll be walking by your house and just like, I like that house, let me mess with that guy. No. Or if somebody assigned them, how would somebody assign them? Someone goes to a magician, gives him your name, your mother's name. The magician, they do this, they match it. So, anybody want to test it? Let me get a name that is not familiar. You know, I was in one of the masajid and I said, you know what, let me look at a name that is not familiar. Sundus. And one sister just jumped. She said, no, Sheikh, that's me. So any Sundus here? No Sundus? Oh, there is? Okay, then skip that name. Okay, what's the name? Yes. Suhail? Suhail. And your mother's name? Azmat. Suhail and Azmat. Azmat, Suhail. They don't have anything in common. So that causes a problem to the magician. What are you doing? That causes a problem to a magician, not to you. So it causes a problem to the magician. What do they have to do? They have to have a trace. Something that touched this Suhail's body, brother Suhail's body, something that came from him directly, and then they'll do their magic according to that. But if they could match the name, they categorize you into 4 categories. Water, air, fire, mud. You're one of 4 categories. According to your category, they will do the magic, and then the jinn will be assigned to harm you. Rasulullah was assigned to be harmed by Labid ibn al-A'sam, hadith narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. His name is Muhammad, and sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his mother's name is Amina. So they took the meme from Muhammad Amina, they match it, he became water. For some, I'm not going to explain tonight, of course. That is, don't think I'm a magician. All right? How do I know that stuff? There is a poetry that says we knew the evil to protect from the evil. Sometimes you need to learn the evil. Doctors, they need to learn about cancer to protect. So don't tell them, why are you reading about cancer? They have to be able to find a cure. So anyway, I actually met some magician who repented from Egypt and other countries, and they told me stuff that if I tell you tonight, nobody's going to sleep. So I'm going to leave it for tomorrow, inshallah. Just because you'll be awake. You'll be awake tomorrow and it'll be light daytime. So anyway, they matched Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they matched his name with his mother's name, and he became water. So what did they do? They took hair from Rasulullah's comb, and his comb that he used to comb his hair, and they tied the nuts. And Labid ibn al-A'sam was a true magician, because most of the magicians I have met, at least in the US, they're fake. All right? They don't even know what they're doing, honestly. They're even reading the spell wrong. And I caught one magician on the spot, and I'm like, what are you doing? He said, this is a spell that we learn and all that. I said, can you read it? So he read it backward. So I said, that's not how it's read. He's like, how do you know? I said, don't ask me that question, because I could tell you right now. But you're reading it wrong. So I showed him, and he was like, okay, this guy, there's something wrong with him. This is a shaitan. I'm not the shaitan, you're the shaitan. I'm talking to him. We know that because we studied it. We read a lot about it because we had to deal with it for 15 years. So now, when they matched Rasulullah, where did they bury the hair? Huh? Well of water. Why water? Why didn't Labid ibn al-A'sam bury it on the ground? Why didn't he put it tied to a bird's feet and let a bird fly with it? It will be more harmful because they will never get it. No, because it will not affect. Rasulullah is water, so therefore they have to match his name into the water. And he was afflicted 1 month, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to see that he did things and he have never done it. Like he went to the store, he bought something, but he's actually at the house. So it's more of illusion, but not that it affects the revelation or any of that. So they do have some power, but their power at the end is limited to your power, which is the Quran. When you use the right power. Now, some brothers and sisters, any of you has any ta'weezah on, don't be scared. Here, you use this, all right? And sing something for them. I love children. No, let him, please. Let him. No, it's fine, I'm fine. Now, ta'weezah is the amulet. Something that you're, حرز زي الحرز عمل yeah. Anything that you're wearing on your neck for protection, in your hand for protection. Allahu Akbar, Corona Masjid is safe, alhamdulillah. I went to one of the masajid recently and I was joking. I was like, if you have anything, just put it in the box. The brother who was with me, he's like, who's gonna carry that box? It was filled. People brought papers and stuff like that. Ta'weezat are these right here. Of course, I didn't want to show you that today, but lucky you got something out of tomorrow. Bismillah, here you go. This right here. These things, now they familiar? Where is it? There you go. Familiar with these things? Have you seen them? let me tell you right now, I know where most of you are from. You have this in your country a lot. Because I'm close to you, I'm from Egypt. We have that stuff sold in the streets. Okay? There is a well-known magician in India. Oh, I didn't have to release that. There is a well-known magician in two countries. Khalas, why not? India and Morocco. There are two known magicians right now who are doing online work. They are selling each one of this for over $2,000 package. Wallahi. $2,000. The brother brought it and he said, I paid $2,000 for this. It keeps me protected. I said, okay, let's open it up. So this is what I found. When I open it up, no, not this one. This is what I found right here. Oh, it's very small. Okay. Here you go. I don't know if you could see it. Can you see it? Kind of, okay. Is it like widescreen? Anyway, so I found this inside. But this is what I found. This thing right here. Something like that. So I said to the brother, I said, do you know this is fake? And he's like, no, Sheikh, don't say that. I said, wallahi, that's fake. The guy who wrote it for you did not even do a good job. And he was like, so I need to call him. And I said, no, you don't need to call him. You need to stop calling him. Because he's getting you into harm. The other brother gave me a paper. So literally, I opened up the paper. After, of course, he had it, tied, and he told him to wear it all the time, to hang it on his chest, and to keep it safe and never open it, because he did a lot of ruqyah, and he used the word ruqyah. That's why the fake magicians are worse than anyone, because they commit kufr. And if you come tomorrow, I'll show you how do they disbelieve in Allah by their actions, and I'm gonna show you how do they do it tomorrow. But you shouldn't try it at home. Anyway, they do this. They bring in something like that. All right. So he tied it in the paper. And then, he saved it in a nice cover and all of that, $1,500. So I said to our brother, let me open it up. He was very scared. We opened it up. This is what it was. This is what it had. Anybody sees what's in it? Huh? Thank you. I said, your magician didn't even waste time to write something. Yeah, and he took the money and he didn't even do the job. At least. The brother told me what? Maybe Sheikh, he wrote it with a secret ink. I'm like, oh man. I can't get you to. I said, you want to know if it's a secret ink? Take it to a dog, let the dog lick it then, if it's secret ink. They attach these people so much. Rasulullah sallam يقول في الحديث الصحيح من علق تميمة فقد أشرك. Whoever hangs an amulet, he disbelieved in Allah. Now another hadith, whoever goes to a magician, you know who are the magicians in this country? Most of the palm readers are magicians. But they're not professional. They just learn online. Like they go to Sheikh Google, like we go to, right? YouTube, and they watch few videos, and then they tell you, oh, mashallah. Or they don't say mashallah, that's me saying mashallah. But they learn some stuff to do it, and then they're not even familiar with what they're doing. One of the famous magicians that some of you guys might know, he uses jinn to do tricks. He's well known in America. I'm not gonna release his name tonight, okay? I met the woman who was working with him. She's also a magician. What she showed me in her office, because I was writing a book about magic, wallahi, what she showed me and what she did to get to that, she was from Bosnia. So she was Muslim. She does it for money. Wallahi, dear brothers and sisters, all shirk and kufr in Allah. So don't trust these people who read your palm reading. Now, amulet is equal to something that you all know, which is the, what is it called? Horoscope. Horoscope is equal to going to a magician. Now, why is it so harmful? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in the hadith, and listen to this hadith, Man sa'ala أو من أتى عرافا أو كاهنا فسأله فصدقه فقد كفر بما أنزل على محمد ومن أتى عرافا أو كاهنا فلم يصدق لا تقبل له صلاة 40 يوما. Hadith is very clear. Whoever goes to a magician, whoever reads the horoscope, whoever goes to the palm readers, whoever reads the what they call the star sign and anatomy and all of that, I'm going to show you all of this. I actually have everything that has to do with that. But I'm not gonna show it tonight. It's tomorrow, something like that. How do you read it? How do they read it? How do they know about your future? And how do they know about your life? And then they tell you something that is very funny. They're like, oh, it says here that you're gonna die very soon. Well, I know that everybody's gonna die. What's new? Oh, you're gonna have a better life. Oh, really? Jazakallah khair. What's new? And then they go into the harm. Rasulullah said, if you go to them and you don't believe them, you just ask out of curiosity, your salah is not accepted for 40 days. So you still have to pray knowing that what? That your salah is not accepted. Astaghfirullah, none of you inshallah, none of you should be among that. What a loser. Those people who go, imagine this, you're doing an action and you're not getting paid. Now, what if you believe in what they tell you? You disbelieved in what Allah has revealed to Muhammad, which is the Quran, so the person becomes kafir. Why? Because these people have to commit kufr in order for them to get to the level that they are at. How do they know the future? How do they know things that happens to you? They're dealing with jinn. As soon as you come to them, you tell them your name, your mother's name, they give you all your information. They have a full report. Where do they get it from? You forgot you have a qareen with you? You have a shaitan, right? The moment you're born, you have a qareen that hits you in your stomach. That's why babies, they cry when they're born. And then he grows with you. That shaitan stays with you 24/7. They don't leave when you go to the bathroom. They don't leave when you're eating. They don't leave when you're sleeping. But you could work hard on getting them to be very weak so they don't whisper. But that magician has jinn. So he sends his jinn to your qareen, bribes him to give him all the information. So as soon as you go to the magician, he's like, don't worry, I know where you came for. Oh, somebody stole your car, so and so have taken your car. Oh wow, mashallah, they know things. They don't know anything, they got it from your qareen. Your qareen releases your information. They don't have the copyright, they don't have the medical, all of that. They release it if they get paid. Qareen wants to get paid, whatever the payment might be. So the harm, possible. If somebody doesn't like you, possible. But there are another harm that is very dangerous, especially to sisters. The attraction that some jinn have because of some actions that sisters do. And I'm not going to tell you what is it. It's tomorrow, inshallah. Oh, that means nobody's coming tomorrow. Okay, let me just say it today then. No, tomorrow. Inshallah. If the jinn gets attracted to the individual, attracted, and you know what attraction is. You say, what's in it for them? Let me tell you something, and I'm not going to go into depth today. Let me tell you something. Don't we as human beings have sometime dreams that causes us to go through these temptations? Did we ever ask why are we having these dreams? I know it has to do with psychology and when you sleep and the soul and I know that. But some of these dreams are due. I was reading on a sister recently and we found out her magic, alhamdulillah. And we took out the magic. The magic was buried 20 years ago in her country. And the jinn, after recitation, told us the place of the magic. So I told this sister, she was going through a lot of problems. One of her main problems was that she's seeing a lot of nightmares. A lot of nightmares that has to do with sexual relation. So when I talked to the jinn, he told me that even if you took the magic and you burned the magic, I can't find the picture now. Even if you take the magic and burn the magic out, I am not leaving because I am very attracted to her. So I am staying with her regardless. So we had to now, after we finish with the magic, we have to get into the relationship. Somebody would say, how? Well, you would wake up in the morning, you would have a wet dream. You don't remember anything, and you might remember something, but you don't remember the true pleasure. But they do have pleasure. To a point that led Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala to think that it could happen, their complete relationship between the human and the jinn, and out of that might come offspring. Because of what he has seen. And I have seen it with many, not mainly sisters, and some brothers. I don't know why. Maybe the Jinn women are not attracted to the brothers, but it's not that they're attracted only, they're harmful. And remember, that is true. 10 minutes? Allahu Akbar. Let's answer some more questions and go. I hope this is interesting enough to encourage you for tomorrow, because what I said today is not even 1% of what we want to cover tomorrow. Tomorrow is the actual workshop. I'll show you how do they perform magic. How could you actually get rid of that magic? What should you do with these papers if you find them in your house, or if somebody have done them to you? How could you protect yourself from evil eye? You know, some of you might not have jinn, but you could have evil eye. Do you know what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about evil eye? This hadith is narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. He said, most people who die after the qadar of Allah dies because of an evil eye. He said an evil eye could lead a person to enter the grave, and a camel to be cooked. Meaning, nowadays we could say a car. You know, somebody, you know, this is not funny, but it is. I bought a new car a few years ago. This sister that I know very well, she came outside, she saw my car, she's like, wow, nice car, the glasses are bright. Wallahi, she didn't even finish the sentence. A crack in the front shield, in the brick. Wallahi, a crack like this. Zzz. I said, okay, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I took it to the shop, they fixed it. So I told my wife about it. My wife was kind of hinting it to it. She's like, you know, kind of in the talk, and she starts saying what? She said, well, we actually had a crack in the glass. And the sister was like, what crack? Your car is outside fine. She actually looked at it when she came in. So I went outside, wallahi, same crack. Now I took it to the shop. The guy was like, what do you do to break it the same way? Like, it can be. People break it different, like I have a crack here, then a crack here, then a crack there, then a crack here. But you have the same shape. I said, don't worry about it. So I took it back 3 times. Wallahi, 3 times. The end, I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it with a crack. If she like it like that, then why not? Evil eye could be harmful, but some of them could be fixed while others can't. So if Rasulullah said it will lead a person to the grave, is there any way to fix that? No. And it will lead a camel to enter a pot or to be cooked. Meaning, you're right, somebody will say, oh man, nice car you have. And then 4 flat tires. Someone will say to your kid, oh, nice kid, he looks nice, his eyes look this and that. Then the kid, we actually had a kid right now that we're trying to help out. She did 3 surgeries in her eye because of a cross eye. Someone said something when she was born. She had beautiful eyes. Someone have said something to her. She's only 3 years old, almost 3 major surgery in her eyes. That is harm. That is not from the jinn. That's the other harm that we will be speaking about. The other harm that, how could we protect ourselves first, and how could we stop it from happening? What is the lead? Very simple. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I'll tell you a life story. Rasulullah said to the Sahabi, you know, when he looked at his brother and then he said, oh, nice skin, and he started having stomach ache and a problem. Some of the people today, the medical aspect of their treatment or the diagnosis says they don't have any problem. And I'll tell you something that happened with me. In last year of high school, I was given khutab. So somebody was saying to me, like, mashallah, nice khutab and all that. How could I give khutab like you? And there's a man who we know, he's well known with that evil eye. He told him at that time, he said, it's very easy. Turn on your Bluetooth and his Bluetooth, and it will transfer. Like, put your heads together, you know, and then transfer the knowledge from here to there. It's like mocking, making fun of us. He said that, and my left eye just dropped down, migraine headache. Wallahi, 2 weeks in the hospital, the doctors have no clue. And they just said to my dad, we don't know what's going on. So after that, somebody came to visit, and he told me what happened. So I told him. He said, okay, don't worry about it. He went to this brother, and he asked him, he begged him to shower for me, like to make wudu, and the usable water to carry it like without spitting and all that, to just make wudu and the usable water that comes out of him. So if you're making wudu, you should have like a container under you, and that usable water that comes out of him, then he washes his stomach and his knees, which is the sunnah. Imam Ahmad narrated in Tirmidhi. And then you take that water and you pour it over your body. Wallahi, I was going into surgery. I told the doctor, give me a few minutes. I went into the bathroom. I showered with that water and I was not allowed. After 1 hour exactly, migraine headache disappeared. And the doctor was like, it can't be. So I told her, she was a Chinese doctor. And she said, you know what, I heard about this spiritual healing and I believe in them even though I don't know how they're practiced. Subhanallah, it could be. It could be from jinn. Yes, it could be possible. People who have seizure, as we talked about, seizure are two types. Chemical defect in the brain or lose of focus and tension in the aspect or the physical aspect of it. And seizure that has to do with jinn and possession. One way to know it, one way, we have many ways. One way to know the difference is that people who have seizure due to a medical reason, they only fall when the seizure happens on one side. You get that? So if they are attacked by the seizure, they fall to their left or to the right or to the front or to the back. Just one side. Those people who have seizure attack because of a position of jinn, they start falling left, right, front, back, like they look crazy. That's one way to know. That's one way, not always. But this is one way to know. Why? Remember what we said, of course, we couldn't even get to the jinn portion of it. When we said the jinn are created from the flameless part of fire, they might transfer into an object like air, and they will go from any opening. How? Under four conditions. If a person is in great fear, if a person is in great sadness, if a person is in great happiness that gets him to be crazy when they're laughing, or if a person is in complete misguidance when they're doing something wrong. So the jinn waits by the person till they enter their body. And the jinn is not easy. The hardest moment of a jinn's life is to enter someone's body. The worst moment of their life is when they enter and when they exit. And they only enter and exit from an opening. Because some people, I know some ruqyah, when they read on people and the jinn speaks, they tell them, oh, get out. So the jinn said, from where? He said, from the feet. Or from the hands, the fingers. How are they going to get out from the fingers? There's no opening. You only have four openings. Mouth, nose, eyes, ears. Done. We don't recommend the eyes, ears for the jinn to come out. We only recommend the mouth and the nose. Why? Because when they're coming out, they might actually pop the eye. They might hurt the eye. They might harm your sight. Or the ears, you might lose the hearings. For some reason, and I'll explain that, how do they do it tomorrow. But the jinn stands by you, and this air goes through that tunnel, either one of the tubes, nose, mouth, whatever that is, and they are settled in the brain area to control the nerves of the entire body. That's why people have seizure. That's why people's arms are sometimes they can't move their arms. That's why some people they can't move their legs. That's why some people they start having certain attacks. That's why some people they start falling around, and sometimes they, you know, when you read on a sister, the last sister I read on in Florida, subhanallah, I had a sheikh, he kind of didn't believe in that, so I took him with me. She had 7 jinn, a family, mashallah, father, mother, and the children, and they were Christians. So that sister, her husband puts his hand, as soon as we start reading, she has the flying jinn. So she starts flying off the ground up to the level of the table. So I know that. And then her head turns 180 degrees. So I took this sheikh in who didn't believe it. He's like, don't say that stuff. Well, how could they? So the sheikh, the husband put the hand, the sheikh put his hand, and I sat by the side. So he started reading, the sister started what? Flying, and then the sheikh started shaking. Now it's getting serious, all right? Then she started going like this. Then she passed out. And then her head turned 180 degrees, and her eyes opened up, and she screamed in his face in a very loud voice. He pushed her with his feet, and then he said, "A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim. I believe in Allah, but I'm never going to do that again. I'm not into that." So it is reality. We have seen it. How do they do that? all of that is tomorrow, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. So the only thing that I want to leave you with tonight is what I promised you. If you see any form of Jinn, could be in a human transform, Jinn could transform into a snake, Jinn mainly transform into a black dog. Other animals or creatures, very hard to do so. So a black cat or other, very hard for some reasons that I will mention tomorrow, inshallah. But if you ever see a snake in your house, this is my gift to the brothers who are not going to make it tomorrow and the sisters, even though I want everybody, inshallah. If you see a snake in your house or a snake somewhere, you should do 3 things. Number 1, get away from it. Don't go close. Number 2, say Bismillah 3 times. Number 3, say the dua that Rasulullah taught the Sahabi. He said, قل, say, أسألك بالعهد الذي أخذه عليكم سليمان أن تخرج آمنا. By the oath that Sulaiman have taken upon you to leave safely. Rasulullah said, if he is a jinn, they would leave. If you say that, but don't go close to the snake and say, hey, mashallah, bismillah, please leave. You'll be dead by then. It'll be too late. So from far away, say bismillah, bismillah, loud, 3 times. And then, because if they are jinn and they don't leave, that means they are shayateen. So what can you do? When they transform, they are locked into the creatures that they are transformed to. So when you kill it, you can kill a shaitan, but you could kill a shaitan if he transformed, because now he's no longer shaitan, he is a snake. So yes, he's locked in, so you could kill it. But after you say that 3 times, if they are jinn, they would leave. If they are the shaitan, they won't. If they're just a snake, then you could kill them as Rasulullah sallallahu commanded us to do. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect your houses and your children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you safe and well. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from the harm of the shayateen, of the ins, the humans, and the shayateen of the jinn. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us guided on the straight path, inshallah. I wish, there's a lot to cover, a lot to show. We're going to speak about magic tomorrow, inshallah. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to show you some slides of things that we're going to be speaking about, inshallah, to encourage you to come tomorrow. We're going to speak about how to spot a fake raqi. How do you know that someone is fake? How do you know that someone I could go to and he would recite on me or she would recite on me and they are accepted? What's with the amulet and how could we keep ourselves and our children protected? What are these signs that we see in some books? What do they mean and what they're referring to? And then we'll go on, inshallah, to the navigation of numbers and how the magicians use it. And then inshallah we'll go how the magician prepares their magic. This is actually a real magician that you guys all know in America, but his face is not clear, so alhamdulillah, because I don't want any trouble with he might raise magic. And how do the magician prepare their magic, and what tools do they use, and how did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the magic was done to him through these voodoo and all of these things that are used now. Now the last part will be about the ruqyah and what the treatment is and how could we treat ourselves and protect us. All of that inshallah will be in the workshop tomorrow. I wish and I hope the turnout will be as great as tonight. Jazakumullah khair for coming. Jazakumullah khair for the hospitality. May Allah reward you and keep you safe. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make what we said today as a beneficial for us in this dunya and akhirah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our shortcomings and mistakes that we have done. Wallah, walhamdulillah rabbil alameen.
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh Ammar. So I wanted to take about 15 to 20 minutes, inshallah, just for question and answer. So I have one mic here. Sheikh Ubair, if you could help me out, please. One mic for the brothers and one mic for the sisters, inshallah. So if we can, for those of you that need to exit, please do so right now before we begin. Otherwise, Sheikh Ubair, you want to do the brothers then? Or the sisters? So any questions from the sisters?
Assalamu alaikum. So my question is,
Yes.
Can you hold the mic closer?
yeah, my question is,
Yes.
is this a good dua? I mean, it's ruqyah, to say Bismillahil Azim Rabbil Arshil Azim Afi and then the name of the person 7 times. I've heard this. Is this proper to do?
to say Bismillah al-Azim Rabbil Arsh. The dua of the Prophet ﷺ, the hadith of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, that the Prophet ﷺ used to say, As'alullah al-Azim Rabb al-Arsh al-Kareem an yashfiyak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure you. The literal wording of the hadith might be different, but it says you make dua for the person, you put your hand on the spot, and you say Bismillah, Allahumma Rabb al-Nas, adhib al-Ba's, ishfi wa anta shafi, la shifa'a illa shifa'uk, shifa'an la yughadiru saqama. All of that are the dua for tomorrow, inshallah. You say Bismillah, As'alullah al-Azim, Rabb al-Arsh al-Kareem, an yashfiyak. You say it 7 times, yes. Okay. But the wording might be different, but it is yes.
Jazakallah khair. Then later. Any questions from the brothers?
I'm going to.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thank you, Sheikh, for coming. My thoughts was you will be coming to strengthen our confidence in Tawheed and enjoin us to put entire trust that there is no harm, there is no benefit except with the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has started Ayatul Kursi, Allah has started Surah Falaq, Allah has started Surah Nas. You did pick up some of those areas, but most of this stuff is a traditional back home marketing sales here. I'm sorry about that. I don't think it is a very good idea to confuse all the young minds. This masjid is promoting the Tawheed and the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a very powerful way.
Can I ask you a question before you give the mic back? Were you here in khutbah today? Huh? Were you here during the khutbah today? Anybody was here during khutbah? So exactly what the brother said, that was the first thing. For 45 minutes today in the khutbah, I didn't speak about any of this concept. I was focused on the topic tonight because of what I came for. But the concept of Tawheed and Aqeedah was established today in the khutbah for 45 minutes, both khutab, and I said clearly that this is what we should start with. We shouldn't start with this topic before that khutbah. And if I didn't give that khutbah, I would be more than happy to emphasize, but forgive me because I'm here directly to the specific talk. And when you talk about something specifically, it doesn't mean that you neglect anything else. Rasulullah ﷺ said to Ibn Abbas in the hadith, he said, Ya ghulam, ihfadillah yahfadk. Protect Allah, Allah will protect you. Meaning, follow the commands of Allah, Allah will be with you and He will protect you. Jazakallah khair for the advice. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you greatly, inshallah. I hope, inshallah, no one is confused from tonight. And inshallah, the clarification will be tomorrow, more details, inshallah. Let me, I just want to tell the brother something. The brother here, he'll be very respectful if you look at me. Jazakallah khair. I'm talking to you now. I'm responding. Jazakallah khair. So brother, yes. So okay. Can I say? Allahu Akbar. It would be a marketing, and I know why the brother is saying that, because of what he has seen and people are taking it as business. Yes, and this is the problem that I point today. This is not a business. This is Quran and Sunnah. I've been reading for 15 years, and here I am online. Anybody who's watching me anywhere on earth right now, if I dare anybody that I have taken a penny out of this in my last 15 years, the brothers who am training today, they're doing ruqyah on people almost every day. Ask them and ask those people. The people are living, alhamdulillah. If anyone comes and says the sheikh have taken a penny, we buy olive oil with our money, we read on it, we bring in water of Zamzam, we read on it, we bring in sidr from Amazon that costs $12 per bag, we read on it, and wallahi, 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 never charge the person a penny, alhamdulillah. So this is more of clarification on the concept, not to market anything. Jazakumullah khair. Yes, sister.
Question for you, yeah.
Sister, brother.
The thing is, okay,
Sister, brother, yes. Jazakallah khair for the...
Hello? Oh.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I wanted to ask a question in regards to interacting with jinn. I've heard from a lot of people that it's okay if you interact or if you ask advice, right? Like if you ask advice from them or if you interact with them. And there's like separate places in different countries where people go to things called like darbar, things along those lines, where quote unquote they get in link with jinns from Sahaba time, like they're Sahaba jinns. Can you clarify on that, please?
All of this is fake.
Thank you.
All of this is fake. Let me tell you something. The only condition that a jinn would help you, and a jinn will be under your command, and a jinn will offer you help if you offer them some form of sacrifice. And the sacrifice varies from what you want. So it could be a sacrifice of leaving your religion. Like if you come tomorrow, I'm going to show you how the magician do it. If you hear a story of one magician and how he was led to jinn, you'll be shocked. Even Americans, I'm not talking about Muslim magicians, I'm talking about magicians who learned the concept of magic truly. All of this is fake. There is no jinn from, where is the jinn from the Sahaba? One. Two, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam went through battles, hardship. He got kicked out of his country. We don't recall once, even though he used to talk to the jinn and see them, we don't recall him once saying to the jinn, can you help us out? Can you help your brothers out? We don't have that. Anytime a jinn would help someone, only if that person fulfills the conditions or what he commands him to do. So it could be from disobeying Allah to disbelieving in Allah. One. Two, when you say, they tell you, I'm dealing with a jinn who came from the time of the Sahaba. How do you trust someone that you don't see? You know, anybody could tell you anything. You know, I'm 1,000-year-old. All right, go ahead. But you could see me, so you could say clearly, no, that's not true. So when the jinn says, I'm 1,000-year-old, I came from the time of Sahaba, I'm a companion. Well, we tell him, companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam don't work with magicians.
So just to clarify, so we, under any circumstances, should not be interacting with jinn
Yes.
at all, under any circumstances,
Yes.
and advice falls in that ratio.
Yes.
No to that.
No.
And there is no such thing as Sahaba jinn.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Sahaba jinn, Sahaba jinn died with the Sahaba. They're done.
Yes,
definition
sure.
of Sahabi is someone who have seen Rasulullah.
Okay, thank you so
Rasulullah
much.
died when he was a Muslim, and he died as a Muslim. So there's no jinn Sahabi. Yes.
Sir, the question, thank you very much for the complete description. Question I'm asking you, how do you know that the affliction is done by some disease? The person should go to a doctor, or the affliction done by the jinn, then he should go for the exorcism.
Can I tell you something? First step to healing is for him to see a psychiatrist. Anybody who feels that they have something wrong, I would recommend go and see a psychiatrist first. Let them diagnose your case. Let them see what's wrong with you. Because I have dealt with this 15 years. I'm telling you right now, more than 80% of the cases I have dealt with have no jinn, no affliction, nothing. It's all illusion, all psychology. Some of it was depression, some of it was bipolar. That's why I had to study some kind of a medical terminologies and aspect and go to doctors, and I actually was in medical school for a few years. So therefore we tell any Muslim who feels depressed or depression or bipolar, or they feel there's something going on with their life, go see a psychiatrist first. If they tell you there is no reason for what you're having, also go see a healer or someone who's reading by the Quran and Sunnah, not those people who are reading with things that you don't understand or things that you don't know.
The second question, for my knowledge, that I don't know the answer. On Surah Al-Saba, the throne of Bilqis, the queen of Sheba, was brought to Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam. And that person was not a jinn. According to the many scholars, his name was Asif ibn Barkhia. So what kind of, I mean, it's not mentioned, but many scholars, including Abdullah bin Abbas, he mentioned it in this.
The
So,
Quran said, قَالَ عِفْرِيتٌ مِّنَ الْجِنِّ أَنَا آتِيكَ بِهِ. Quran
no,
said,
it was not a jinn. So anyway, let me complete first.
One
So you
second.
let me complete first.
Right,
So
problem.
what kind of knowledge that person has? He was not a jinn for sure. That's mentioned in the Quran.
No, not for sure. One second. You cannot build a concept on a foundation that
Yeah.
don't exist. The foundation says there are different of opinion of the other man. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. That's what you're talking about. The person who had knowledge of the book.
Knowledge of the book.
There are two people. There are Ifritun min al-Jinn who told him that I could get it that quick, and there's a person who had knowledge of the book. So two people offer help. The Ifrit was the first one. That's what the Quran mentioned, literally. Now the second one, there's a narration by Ibn Abbas, which is mostly mentioned without a chain, that he was not a jinn, he was a human being who knew knowledge of the name of Allah, the great name of Allah, because the Prophet says there's a name of Allah, if you make dua with, Allah would accept. So he knew that knowledge. عنده علم من الكتاب أنا آتيك به. Most of the narration, Ibn Kathir mentioned, Tabari and Qurtubi, that he was a jinn who knew the name of Allah, or the great name of Allah. So it is possible that he could be a jinn or a human being. That's why I said in the khutbah, and I'm saying again, and the brother reminded, that we have power by the Quran or Sunnah that is stronger than the power of the shayateen and jinn. Allah said, إِنَّ كَيْدَ الشَّيْطَانِ كَانَ ضَعِيفًا. The plotting of the shaitan is very weak. It's the problem today, we're talking about this concept, because a lot of Muslims, their iman became so weak that they let the control of the jinn and possession. And that's why it's coming up as a common thing among Muslims than any other time before. And the problem happened that not only the jinn when they see someone scared of them, they take advantage. So that's why we're warning people, we're telling them, hold on to Allah, hold on to the book of Allah, the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they are your best protection. Now, yes, go ahead. Yes, sister, go ahead.
So we're going to get two now, because they took two.
Yes, go ahead.
So you mentioned that, you know... Hello?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned certain dua that whenever we see anything like a snake or something, and if it's a jinn, we should recite that. I have a stupid question. Is there a language preference there?
No, there's no stupid question.
So
there's never a stupid question.
If we don't memorize at that time and we don't know, can we say the same meaning in our own language?
Inshallah, yes.
Would the jinn understand?
You know, the concept of jinn that they know everything and they speak all language and they do it, that's not true. Jinn are like human beings. So, but would they get Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? That's something that's common among all jinn. They know what Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is. They know A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitan Rajim means. So like now, when some of you might not speak Arabic at all, but if I say A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitan Rajim, everybody know what that is. Bismillah ar-Rahman. So make it in any language you want, and the point here is that you're protecting yourself from them. So if you were to harm them, at least they won't be able to harm you back. All right? So the point is to this is the thing. We try our best. You know, even when we perform Ruqyah, anyone here who perform Ruqyah? That's the problem. Okay. No, I'm talking about for people. Let me tell you, your intention should be to get rid of the sickness and the affliction, not to bring it. Meaning, I don't want the jinn to speak to me. I don't want to read on someone and bring in a jinn and make a show. No, I want to read with the intention, oh Allah, cure that person from whatever he's going through, however you want, away from that person. We wish that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would cure him without me getting involved to talk to the jinn or deal with him or stuff like that. So yes, they do understand some language, they do speak some language, some of them do speak Arabic, some of them do speak Hindu, some of them do speak Urdu, whatever that is. So you might be lucky that you got a jinn who speak your language. Yeah.
Jazakallah khair for coming. Oh, I thought we were getting two questions.
Because the brother got two questions, they want to be fair. No.
Thank you, Sheikh. I'll ask you a simple question. You mentioned about horoscope, that how people predict your coming week or month. What about the weather reports when they give you 7 days of advance, how the weather is going to be?
Weather report is built on foundations and knowledge that do exist and people learn. Horoscope is built more on assumption than knowledge, built on reciting or understanding how the stars work, and things that are related to that. That is not firm knowledge. That is not ilm, knowledge that you could learn. It's something that you could gain, and also the shayateen adds to it and gives you so they could encourage you. But weather report, even though they're not certain 100%, but this has foundations of how do they read things, the knowledge that they built on. So it is completely different. One is knowledge that we should accept and go and follow, and it doesn't mean anything. But we know that not what they said made the weather that way, is what Allah. Because Rasulullah said, people who wake up after rain saying that, oh, we were rained today because of this star moving to this direction or the cloud, they disbelieve in Allah. And the ones who said we were rained because Allah sent rain, they get the barakah of it. So we understand how they built. The other side is completely against the deen, is completely something that has to do with more of what we spoke about. Yes?
So, Jazakallah khair for coming and for sharing your knowledge with us. My question is, can you please no camera on me? Thank you. But my question is in regards to, I understand you have a workshop tomorrow, inshallah. That's what's wonderful, and looking forward to attending that. But can you just share very briefly some other precautions we can take so we are not bothering them without knowing? For example, I've heard not to walk under a tree at night, and you said to say Bismillah when you're pouring hot water. Just a few brief other examples you can share.
In your house, you have areas that are living areas of Jinn. The sinks are living areas of Jinn. So be very careful with hot water and how you pour hot water, or you turn on your hot water. Especially in the winter time, we want the water to be as hot as possible because it's cold. So we turn it on without saying Bismillah. That's the problem. So you say Bismillah and then you turn it on. Rasulullah said they will be protected and you will be protected. Number two, when entering the bathroom, you must remember to make dua to a point that some scholar says, if you no longer could exit the bathroom and enter, say it to yourself. Now, don't say it out loud, but say it to yourself when you're in the bathroom. This is the second thing. Most people who hang pictures on the wall or music kind of brings in the shayateen and jinn into the house. So your protection is play Surah Al-Baqarah every 3 days in the house. That will get rid of the shayateen and protect you from it. The other things that people make up, you know, in the streets wise, you should not, for example, relieve yourself in a place of, like in a hole. Not under the tree, because Rasulullah said under the tree is where people pass by or they sit to rest. So you shouldn't make that area filthy, but it has nothing to do with the jinn. The jinn, they live in the area where people don't live, farther area, depth of ocean. They live in the garbage area most of the time. And they try to isolate themselves as much as they can. So in your house, your best protection that Rasulullah ﷺ has mentioned in many ahadith is to just say Bismillah before you start an action. Right away, Rasulullah ﷺ said, the cover between their eyes, their sighting, and you in the bathroom is saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. They can't see you in the bathroom, but if you don't say Bismillah ar-Rahman, they could see you, you could harm them, and so on. Huh?
Thinking she will not give it.
I can't.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
No, not the surah. They're talking about pictures, meaning statues, like not your photograph picture. Even though I don't recommend it hanging, but no. When we say pictures, I'm sorry. We need clarification. Yes, when we say picture, we're talking about statues, things that has figure, or things that has complete figure.
Yeah, brother, I need to know your opinion. What about having this attached bathrooms with the rooms? Attached bathroom is a good idea.
Bathrooms attached to the room?
Yeah, to the bedrooms. 4 bedroom, 4 bathroom.
Before the Sheikh answers the question, very quickly, inshallah, this will be the last question for the brothers. And we have one more question for the sisters, and then we'll end the Q&A, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
They want us to hear till midnight. That's what they... Okay. If you're in a house that is already built, Aisha radiallahu anha, in hadith narrated by Imam Muslim, she used to say that we disliked bathrooms to be even in the house. We liked it to be farther away from the house. Nowadays, let's be real. Let's face our reality. We either entered the house and it's already built, so there's nothing we could do, or we're building our own house. If you have the chance to build your own house, I would recommend that your bathroom should be outside of your bedroom, better. But if you're already in the house, inshallah, Allah will protect you, because the bathroom, definition of bathroom is where you relieve yourself. So our bathrooms today could be that shower area, sink, and then the toilet area in the back. Or 2 rooms inside where you enter. So if you have the ability to do it outside, I would say it's better to be outside of your bedroom. If it's already attached, just keep the door closed, inshallah. Should be fine, inshallah. Yes. Last question from sisters. Okay, before sister asks, I want to clarify something that is very important. And inshallah, this will help you out leaving tonight. The clarification says that the best performed ruqyah, the best performed ruqyah, of course from Quran and Sunnah, not from Google. Not the ruqya that has weird words or things that you have to say, like you have to read this dua 1,000,000 times a night or 1,000 times. Nobody's going to read the 1,000 times. So something that Rasulullah said or the Quran have used as Quran. Listen to this. The best performed ruqya is the one that you perform on yourself. You want me to say it again? Not the one that I perform on you or this sheikh or that imam or Sheikh Jamil. The best effective ruqya is the one you perform on yourself. You know why? Because no one would care about you much as you care about yourself. When you put your hand and you feel sick and you say, oh Allah, cure me, it will come from your heart. If you go to a sheikh and say, make dua for me, he will be like, may Allah cure you. It's not the same as you crying to Allah saying what? Oh Allah, cure me. That's why I recommend that's why I'm teaching this tomorrow. Because I'm going to give you at the end the ruqya to take home, only Quran and Sunnah. And I want every one of you to take it home and practice it on yourself, on your children. You don't need to go to someone to pay him $100, $200, $300, for whatever that is. You have your own hands. Rasulullah used to make ruqya on himself. And when he got sick, Aisha said, I would read in his hand out of the barakah and would wipe over with his hand. His ruqya is better than someone else's ruqya because the care is more and the effect is more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَمَّن يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. Allah would respond to those who are in need. The one who's in need is the one who's afflicted. Not your brother, not your sister, not your father, not your mother, not your wife. They feel bad for you. I know. They might be hurt. Yes. But they're not feeling what you're feeling. They're not getting it. At the end of the day, they go home, they sleep, and you're sick. So your ruqyah to yourself is better than the ruqyah of anybody. But why are we doing this? Because some people, when they start performing ruqyah, they pass out. They have seizure. So they won't be able to help themselves. It's like going to a doctor for extra help. Even though you could take Tylenol at home and Advil and feel good, but a doctor's help would also be recommended. And that's what the Sahaba did with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. First, perform it. If you can't and you feel that you won't be able to do it, I tell people every night, how easy is this? Al-Fatiha, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ayatul Kursi 7 times. The last 3 ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah 3 times. قل يا أيها الكافرون and on the 4th surah. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء. All these ahadith are Bukhari, Muslim, Ahmad, Tirmidhi. They are all authentic narration. Rasulullah said Surah Al-Baqarah, last 3 ayah, Ayatul Kursi, the 4 qul, and then you go like this. You wipe over your body. Rasulullah said you will be protected from the shayateen till the morning. Done. Simple. Easy. People need some other help? Yes. Certain cases. Not everybody. Is that clear, inshallah? Last question from sister side? Or we're good? One more? How about I bribe you with candy to go? No, go ahead.
I just wanted to know if somebody is affected by a jinn or possessed by a jinn, the actions that are made by the person is who's responsible for the jinn or the person who's actually doing it? Like somebody is robbing the bank or murdering somebody or something like that.
I didn't get the question fully. The kids were laughing and running at the same time you were saying. Can you say it again? I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. What's the question?
I just wanted to know if a person is possessed by a jinn and the actions that are made by that person is who's responsible for it? Either the jinn or the person who made it.
First, we need to affirm that this person is possessed with jinn. That's the first. You cannot just diagnose yourself or someone that you know, seeing someone walking a certain way and you say, I feel like this guy has jinn. You can't do that. And you can't say he killed somebody because he's possessed with jinn, therefore he's forgiven. We can't do that. The first step is what? We need to affirm that. If it's affirmed, and I say again, it could be a psychiatrist problem. He needs to see a psychiatrist. He needs to see a treatment. He needs to be treated. Those people with bipolar, when they go through the cycle of bipolar, they are not themselves. They do things that it's not them. And the doctors, they will tell you, oh, he's not him. He could hurt himself. He could, hurt others, right? This is what they say. That's the first question they ask you. Are you thinking of hurting yourself? Are you thinking of that? So if that is affirmed that this person is possessed with jinn, then their actions are forgiven, because they are like the crazy person that Rasulullah said, 3 are not being punished, or 3 are not responsible for their action: a person sleeping, a young person who's not mature yet, and a person who goes through the cycle of insanity. So that is under the insanity part, the position of jinn, if we affirm it. And it should not be an excuse for people to fall into haram or mistakes or to harm others, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammad, alhamdulillah.
Jazakumullah khair, everybody. A couple of housekeeping items, inshallah. For those of you that have the private one-on-one meeting time with Sheikh Ammar, please come and see me up front on the right-hand side, inshallah, so we can let you know your time slot. For those of you that have been asking in the back predominantly, if it's not for profit, well, why are we charging $10? So let me just clarify that very quickly. The $10 is not from Sheikh Ahmad. The $10 is from ISCN. ISCN is producing binders, that is a cost. ISCN is providing food, which is a cost. ISCN is providing the IT and the space, which is also a cost. So all of these costs that are related to tomorrow's workshop are directly from ISCN. They're not from Sheikh Ammar, so everybody can be disabused of that misconception. Number one. Number two, whoever cannot afford to attend the workshop, you are free to come, free of charge. You don't have to pay to get in. We have never had any type of program in this masjid where we've obligated people to pay and turned away the people who couldn't afford to pay. We've never done that, and we're not starting today, and we're not starting tomorrow. So please disabuse yourself of this notion, number one. Number two, to address the point that was made earlier, if you were here for Salatul Jum'ah and you heard the khutbah, you shouldn't have any response. The answer is clear. And tonight's topic was specifically on jinn, evil eye, and these types of affliction. It was not talking about tawheed or talking about these other types of issues. So please, we are sticking to the topic, not to unrelated topics. Okay, there is also food in the back, inshallah, for those of you that are welcome to take it, inshallah. So please help yourselves. The Sheikh is going to be meeting with people very, very shortly, so please, we do not have time for question and answer tonight, inshallah. He has some appointments, so please respect his time. If you do want to ask some questions of the Sheikh, then please attend the workshop tomorrow, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan to everybody for attending.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum. Just give me one second of your time. Tomorrow, inshallah, between each session, I am gonna open up all questions that you want about this topic and things that you need to know. So it will not be all from 11 to 4. It'll be more like an hour or half an hour, then questions, then half hour questions, and we move on. So you don't